Good morning and welcome to the City of Glendale's Arts and Culture Commission meeting of September 19th, 2024. Roll call, please.
Vice Chair Yank,
Here.
Commissioner Tufankian,
Here.
Commissioner Zadorian,
Here.
Commissioner Alexandrian,
Here.
Commissioner Pogosian,
Here.
and Chairperson Vidor.
Here. Next
Agenda
item.
Item 1, posting of the agenda. The agenda for the September 19th, 2024 regular meeting of the Glendale Arts and Culture Commission was posted on September 16th, 2024 on the bulletin board outside City Hall. Agenda Item 2, consent items, minutes of the July 18th, 2024 regular meeting of the Arts and Culture Commission.
Okay, on the minutes, do we have any additions or corrections before we, okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
Well, second.
Second. Roll call?
Vice Chair Yank,
Yes.
Commissioner Tufankian,
Yes.
Commissioner Zadorian,
Yes.
and Chairperson Vidor.
Yes.
Agenda Item 3A, introductions and presentations. Danielle Garza, Public Arts Intern.
Good morning. Come on up to the podium. Good morning, Commissioners. We are very excited to introduce Danielle Garza, who's our Public Arts Intern, and this is through a grant from the LA County Department of Arts and Culture for the Arts Internship Program. So, Danielle.
Hi there, it's nice to meet you all. I'm Danielle. I am in my final semester at USC studying fine arts, so getting my BFA. I'm excited about that and excited to be working with Glendale and all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. We're glad to have you with us, as I'm sure Jennifer is as well. Next item.
Agenda Item 3B, Library Arts and Culture Events, presented by Loretta Lopez, Program Coordinator. This Hispanic Heritage Month, we pay tribute to Hispanic Americans of the Glendale community in a celebration of history and culture and in recognition of the community's struggle for inclusion and equity. Save the date for a Dia de los Muertos celebration on Saturday, November 2nd from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Glendale Central Library. For more information on this event and programming related to Hispanic Heritage Month, please visit the link on the screen. Glendale Library Arts and Culture invites you to join a series of virtual author talks in partnership with the Library Speakers Consortium. On Saturday, September 21st at 4 p.m., join us as we chat with mega best-selling author Leanne Moriarty about her newest novel, Here One Moment. Moriarty's Here One Moment is a brilliantly constructed tale that looks at free will and destiny, grief and love, and the endless struggle to maintain certainty and control in an uncertain world. For more information, please visit the link on the screen. The City of Glendale's Library Arts and Culture Department, in collaboration with the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, is pleased to present a new exhibition titled Blended Worlds: Experiments in Interplanetary Imagination at the Brand Library and Art Center. Through a series of art and science collaborations, Blended Worlds explores the landscape of human relationships with our ever-expanding environment. Blended Worlds is among more than 70 exhibitions and programs presented as part of PST Art and Science Collide, a landmark regional event exploring the intersections of art and science, both past and present. PST Art is presented by Getty. An opening reception will be held on Saturday, September 21st from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. For more information, please visit the link on the screen. What happens when you mix equal parts art, science, and wonder? You get Blended Worlds, a Getty PST event presented by the City of Glendale in collaboration with the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. On October 5th, Reggie Watts hosts this weird and wonderful collision of art and science on the historic Alex Theater stage. Join us for this live event celebrating interplanetary imagination through explorations in music, multimedia performances, panel discussions, theater, and interactives, intended for curious minds of all ages. Doors open at 6 p.m. and the show begins at 7:30 p.m. For tickets, visit thealex.com. Don't miss this rare and unusual event. It will be otherworldly. Children in kindergarten through grade 8 can join Glendale Library Arts and Culture's online back-to-school reading challenge. Children can read and log 300 minutes of reading to earn badges throughout the challenge. 5 readers who finish all 300 minutes will be chosen to receive a class set of books to present to their teacher for their classroom. For more information, please visit the link on the screen. The Associates of Brand Library and Art Center are accepting applications for the Brand Associates Dance Series 2025 season. They are looking for dance companies with at least 5 years of experience to present an educational, site-specific outdoor dance program appropriate for all ages at Brand Library and Art Center. For more information, please visit the link on the screen. Where We Meet by Keith Knieven is a creative crosswalk now installed on Adams Street and Palmer Avenue. The piece is communicative of the idea of celebrating our differences and finding commonalities to understand who we are as friends and neighbors. Where We Meet strengthens our sense of place and provides a designated and safe passageway into Adams Square. For more information, please visit the link on the screen.
Okay, thank you.
Agenda item 4.
Before we go on October 10th, there will be a screening by the Brand Associates of the film Neon, and that is at 6 o'clock.
Thank you. Agenda item 4, written communications, there are none. Agenda item 5, oral communications, there are none. Agenda item 6, action items, Palmer Park basketball court mural design concept proposals. Motion recommending that the city council authorize the city manager or a designee to enter into an agreement for commission of artwork with an artist/artist team to design a public piece for the Palmer Park basketball court mural in an amount not to exceed $30,000 dispersed from the Urban Art Program Fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. We are very excited again to introduce Bo Bass and Catherine Forsyth from the Bass Projects, who's been working on it with us to commission and curate our large public art pieces. This specifically is the Palmer Park basketball court mural, and we have 3 finalists who are here today, so I'm going to hand it off to Bo and Catherine.
There we go. My name's Catherine from the Bass Projects, and today we are going to be looking at a basketball court mural at Palmer Park. The current basketball court is blue and green and just needs some revamping, so we chose 3 finalists, Tori Shao, 3B Collective, and Tanner Goldbeck as the finalists to come up with concepts for the basketball court. This basketball court, it will not be being painted. It's actually a pigmented asphalt, so similar to what's currently existing there. The goal for today is to choose a finalist. Although these are not final concepts and they can still use maybe some tweaking according to your comments, we would like to select a finalist to move forward with and develop the concept further. And first, we have, to let you know a little bit more about the artist, the first artist that will be presenting is Tori Shao. We've worked with her before. She's great. She is located in Seattle, so she'll be joining via WebEx. After Tori, 3B Collective and Tanner Goldbeck are local to Los Angeles. And I will let Tori go ahead and start.
Hi, Tori, are you there?
Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for checking in. I am here.
Okay, great. So I'm going to start your presentation, so you can go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I don't know if people can see me, so I'll just turn my camera on either way. My name is Tori Shao. I wanted to thank La Bass Project so much for bringing me on to develop these concepts, and I wanted to thank everyone on this Arts and Commission Board for your time this morning. As Catherine mentioned, I am Seattle-based. I'm a Seattle-based landscape architect and illustrator, and in both fields, I'm interested in creating work that is exploring connections between us as humans and the surrounding world, as well as one another. And I'm especially interested in work that enhances public spaces at the pedestrian or human scale, which works really well in terms of these mural or other painted applications. Here's just a couple of examples of my past work. These were both completed last summer. The image on the left is on a locally owned, well, Seattle-based, locally owned pottery studio run by a a family with Japanese heritage, and they wanted to feature their family heritage as well as some floral elements that were important to them and their family growing up. And the image on the right is the project that I most recently worked on with LaBosse Projects. This is in a suburb city to the Seattle metro area called Issaquah. And this area is known for its hiking trails. In the Pacific Northwest, we have a lot of ephemeral plants that only bloom for a very short amount of time during the springtime. And this staircase, composed of 137 risers, basically takes one of these perennial plants and celebrates it year round. Like I mentioned before, my work is I'm most interested in work that explores our human connections between one another, as well as how we fit within the surrounding environments around us. And my proposed concept celebrates the annual migration of North America's monarch butterfly and its relationship to the 15 species of native milkweed that can be found in Southern California. I have included a couple of close-up photos of what that looks like. I'm sure you're all familiar with this very charismatic animal, a charismatic insect, and perhaps its relationship to a very charismatic and unique plant. So here is the concept just to orient you. At the top is the skate park overlook, which you can go along either side of the basketball court up onto and have a vantage point over the entire court. This design is quite illustrative and utilizes darker, more saturated colors to give the butterflies more contrast. Also because darker colors are a little bit easier to maintain and show a little less wear and tear over the years. This concept expands, kind of blurs the boundary of the basketball court, while the court itself is implemented with a pigmented asphalt. The pavement surrounding it could extend the design with some kind of matched thermoplastic or even concrete paint. Another way of rendering this design is to have it cropped within the boundaries of the existing basketball court. And with this proposal, one of the many options that can still be implemented is the court striping, whether that is complementary to the design or for clarity purposes, I have just included those as white currently. Here's just a close-up of that design. This is the particular composition that breaks the boundary of the existing basketball court. Thank you for your time.
Originally, we usually go by each artist and we ask each artist questions.
Oh, okay. Any questions for the artist? No questions. No questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tori. And I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab the next artist. Hi, I'd like to introduce Oscar from 3B Collective. He's the next artist that will be presenting a concept.
Hello.
All right, let's see if we could get this going. Just made a few notes so I stay on point. All right, well, thank you very much. My name is Oscar Marianes. I'm here to represent 3B Collective. We're a collective of 6 artists, educators, curators, and we all work together on a lot of community-based artworks, public artworks. And we also produce shows, a lot of exhibitions and things of that sort. So we're pretty much a well-rounded art collective. If we go on to the next slide. So some of the work that we've done, we've been kind of all over the place. Our first work was in Oaxaca back in 2018, and the group came together in 2016, and we started by installing works for other artists, people like Barbara Salomon, Barbara Kruger, things like that. So we were very lucky to be able to work with some phenomenal artists and then be able to transition that always with the plan to do our own work. So we use some of those earlier works to really as a way to get going, learn people kind of the way to work together, and then produce these works. So this is one of the works that we designed and helped install in Inglewood. So basketball courts, really quick about the design, a lot of that community is Black and brown, African American, and a lot of Mexicans and Latinos. And so it was based off of some input that we got from the community, where these are two pyramids. It's a Mexican pyramid and also one from Egypt, and they're intersecting. If we go on to the next slide. What we do, the way we work is a little unique sometimes. We've come to realize that as we've gone through different projects. We're heavily based on community engagement. So sometimes we don't have a full design when we go into a project. We always like to leave room, basically kind of working with a framework, something that we could then add to it. So a lot of the designs will be the basic concept, and then we'll get community input and then add to the design. And on rare occasions, we've completely changed a design when it allows for that. But here's also an example of a piece that we did with a lot of community engagement in Cal State Stanislaus, just up north, heavily agricultural area. And so this is a design that was developed with faculty members, artists, and students from that school. If we go to the next one. Here's another case study. And you can see how the design could be very different. So we really try to cater to what it is that not only the faculty, staff, students, or community members want, but also in this case, we had to respond to the architecture. So this building was by a very well-known architect, and so there was some pushback as far as having just more of a traditional mural. So we did work more with a modernist tendency that complemented the architecture. But all of this was developed with community input from the students, and we worked for a few months together to come up with this design, which is kind of an abstract tree of life, an axis mundi, which related to a lot of different kind of cultural background from different community members. So the proposal, Unity through play. Well, this is another project that we did for the County of LA with transitional housing project, the Hilda Solis Care First Village. That's really close to Union Station. We painted the entire campus, and again, we got some input and had to be very sensitive to the residents and their needs. If we could go on to the next slide. This is the elevator shafts that were kind of some of the biggest canvases for the project. And here's the proposal. I I want to say that I'm a little bit of a history buff, but also I have a long history with Glendale, where my father, well, even before that, as a teenager, when I was very young, my father and I started cleaning apartments up on Brand. That was kind of the first job that I had. And then he was hired on for facilities at Glendale Community College and worked there until he retired for 20 years. So Glendale was really important to me, and even being able to propose this project is very important to me, because having come up in San Gabriel Valley in a very kind of low-income neighborhood, even to be able to just be here now, to that trajectory where being an artist wasn't even a possibility. And then I was lucky later on to have some mentors who introduced me to kind of these projects where it wasn't even a reality that there would be public art projects. Well, we did have public art, which in the community, which were a lot of Chicano murals, but unfortunately all those have been lost. They've been whitewashed, and a lot of gentrification that's gone in the East LA and different communities. We've seen this loss. So for us, it's very important to make public art projects in conjunction with the community, so they take ownership of it, and hopefully we don't see the loss of those. So it is important to me, just personally, even to be able to introduce this. But this is also a departure from what we do, because I realized with the current kind of political climate, where it's very divisive, everything that we've been going through, and not only that, like every day you just look at the news and you can see things that are just terrible. But in our observations and being in the park, we got to see not just people playing basketball, but at different times of the day, a lot of children playing on the courts, kids on scooters going back and forth, playing tag, like a lot of things that I didn't even think kids did anymore. But it was really nice to see them activate the space, and I thought that in itself is something that would be great if we could get back to and remember. And even as people playing basketball, kind of disconnect and just reconnect with themselves and as a team and do things like that, but also as children to be able to play. So to me, I saw it almost like a form of resistance from a lot of different things, and just to be able to reconnect with that joy of playing. And as I looked into the history of Glendale, and also just the region, knowing everything from the different communities that were here, prior to colonization, all the way through the Mexican kind of era and Spanish rule, all the way up to the current communities. I wanted to be able to weave that together. And one of the commonalities in that was a lot of tapestries and weavings and patterns, colors, common colors, things like that. And so I wanted to pull from that and create something that shows that kind of interweaving, but also these different strands that could be put together while capturing the energy of those tapestries to be kind of that what we want to express through our movements, through our actions. And I think that's the crux of this design. And also I wanted to do something a little bit different, where it could maybe expand past the basketball courts. So it could be a design that could, again, kind of draw people in or allow for that movement while still working within the confines of the park. More of a straight-on view of it. Another thing that really I wanted to play on is also duality. That's something that I like to incorporate into almost every design that we do. Everything that's warm, cool, so we always have these opposites, but they blend into each other. So day, night, and the warm and cool colors. And again, these are things that are motifs that are often used, for thousands of years in tapestries. And if there's any questions, please feel free.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions, comments?
We can go in the order that we have for the commissioners. So I think Vice Chair Yank is first.
Is it questions or comments or both?
Both.
Both. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you so much for being here, Oscar. And I don't have any questions, but I really appreciate your presentation and the thought that you put into this proposal. So thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Zadori?
It's stunning, and I'm going to hold my comments off until we have the full discussion. But I just want to say thank you for, one, paying attention to the community's needs. It seems like you've done that in the past with your other work, but also in this one as well. And when you're saying the interweaving of cultures. I see all of the ones that you were discussing in front of me, so that's incredible. Thank you.
Commissioner Tufankian?
Oscar, thank you. Thank you so much for your presentation and for being here. I love the presentation, love the concept. My only question might be is if there's any way to make it a little bit more muted, possibly, just so the basketball court lines show up more. I don't know, would it be a little bit confusing, too many lines, or is that something?
Yeah, that's something that was addressed in the previous. I felt pretty confident creating a very vibrant design because it was a concern with the Inglewood project, which everybody said it was not an issue. So everybody who uses the courts and basketball players and we worked with a company that's done probably close to hundreds of basketball courts at this point, and it's never been an issue, whatever the design is. So we could mute it down if there is concern, just tone down the colors a little bit. But yeah, but I wasn't concerned. It wasn't a concern, and just from previous experience.
Knowing that, that's fine, because I actually love the colors, but it was just, would it be confusing, that's all.
No, yeah, the colors are significant as well.
Thank you.
Commissioner Precosian?
I don't have any questions. It's beautiful. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Commissioner Alexandrine?
No questions or comments.
Guess that leaves me. Yeah, I had a similar concern specifically as related to where there is white and the white regulation lines blend in with where you're using white, and whatever, the design is beautiful, but it seems like it might, I don't know if you've done this before, but it seems like it might be occasionally confusing if people are moving around to be on white where there's white on white. So do you have any comments on that, or that's not a problem, it could be a problem, or?
It's looking a little bit brighter here, but when it would be painted, you probably would be able to see a difference. Or we could make sure that that last bright
So
color, which
everything
is
is
actually
in
a yellow,
contrast
yes,
to the
we could add
regulation
contrast
lines, okay.
Yeah.
And I was curious about, you said I think it's wonderful that you get community input, and I'm curious as to the methodology by which you get it. Is it through the local government, or do you reach out? How do you get your community input?
I'm sorry, I actually skipped right over the community engagement part. What we like to do is well, it depends on what it is. At universities or at schools, it's easier because they put out either a mailer or just a questionnaire for people. When it comes to something like this, we would hope to be able to hold a town hall meeting, or also an event where there might be a farmer's market or something like that. We could set up a booth and get feedback. So there'd be different mechanisms that we could use to kind of reach out to the community and different communities. But again, that would depend on the time frame and how much we want to. Again, it would be where I would hope to get more input from people who are going to be using the park, and also from people who are within that community. So we would try to target that and see if there's festivals, events, whatever it is where we could kind of really engage with the community that comes out.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. I think we're
All right.
ready
Thank
to
you again
go.
for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Hey.
Good
Hello.
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's see here. Yeah, we're back. Let's see. So we actually did a lot of submissions, but we picked out see number 4.
Oh,
6,
did
and
you
8.
want to do an intro or something in case?
Yeah. What? Basically, we're Tanner and Sandy, and we're here from LA, and we wanted to create a series of submissions for the basketball court, basically with bold graphics, you know, city-friendly graphics that, you know, are friendly. You know, what do you think? Like,
Yeah, we're gonna focus on just a couple of them. We submitted the other ones, but I think a lot of them, it's to give you a variety of options, but some of them are self-explanatory. And then we'll start out with the palm tree one and.
sure. Yeah, if you want to scroll through. Oh, sure. There you go. A little bit better. Thank you. So yeah, this is the first one that we decided to go with. Again, it's really kind of a bold graphic situation. We wanted to create something that, you know, reflects obviously Southern California and Glendale, and the palm trees is a pretty cool way of doing that. And also wanted to create something with movement. You know, when you're on the court, it's going to be a different perspective. But as you can see, you know, it's friendly, it's fun, and it's pretty bold. So it's something that everyone can kind of reflect on.
Yeah, we took a look at images from the city skyline and some of the boulevards. So that was the concept behind this one.
And also was thinking, I'm not so set on this one, but the center circle section, I thought of using some sort of logo for that. This one I'm not so great on, but in the next comp that we have, we created like a little tiny logo that I think is pretty cool that could also be used for maybe future PR. If you want to go to the number.
Yeah, the logo,
this is
Glendale City.
Yeah, the Glendale Palmer Park little logo for the center of the court, which is kind of cool. It's something that you could use for future PR if you wanted to, but we wanted to come up with some sort of positive information, so we picked John Wooten's, his Pyramid of Success. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but what you want to talk about him?
Yeah, I'll talk about John Wooden. So for some of the treatments with the ones with the wording comes from John Wooden's Pyramid of Success, and you guys probably know he's one of the famous basketball coaches. But what's critically important about him was all the values that he would teach, and we thought it tied in with community understanding, and it would be just a great. Sorry, I'm not finding the words. But anyway, in terms of community values, what was more important about him was not just that he coached basketball, but his commitment to doing community work. And I heard he spent time in Glendale as well. So that was why we chose some of the wording and then integrated it in with a graphic treatment. So you can see this is one of the ways that Tanner brought in the illustrative work along with kind of the basketball motif and the underlying theme of, coaching and playing and competing.
It's a like I said, it's really bold. The graphics are fun. It's obviously non-offensive in any possible way. It's just the colors can be really bright. All of the colors can be changed according to any ideas that you guys may have. They can be really bright. They can be really bold. You can also make them more subtle. Really depends on what kind of direction you guys might want to go in, but they're highly changeable.
Yeah, and so Tanner came up with this example as an illustration example and a hand lettering example.
Yeah.
And then if you can go to the concept number 8.
Yeah, that's it.
Concept number 8, this is more of a graphic, a typography treatment. So same thing, it's the underlying pyramid of success. This one's a little bit busier, I know, but we wanted to give you guys a variety of, whether we just went with bold graphics and this is a typography treatment of it, but it underlies all of that. And then for people that are kind of like sneakerheads, the shoe design, it's from the first version of the Air Jordans. So that's what that footprint example is about. But most of the people that play basketball, they'll recognize the footprints if you're a sneaker collector or something like that. It's kind of the underlying part of that.
Again, this can be
Concept.
done in any kind of color variation that you want. Everything is, yeah. It can be super bright or very subtle, so whatever you guys are thinking.
And then the final one is more straightforward, but it's, we understand there's going to be a variety of age groups. This one's more of just a simple graphical treatment of a basketball. And same thing, it's like we just provided a couple example color palettes, but it can align and be adjusted depending on what else is going on in the park.
And these kind of graphics are kind of deceptively simple. There's the main color piece here. I tried to include a lot of colors. It's, inclusive if you want to see it this way, like everyone's invited. It's bold, it's graphic, but it won't interfere with like the linear patterns on the court. One of the things we're trying to keep in mind is like when you're actually playing basketball, you don't want the graphic to overpower the actual lines, because I think that'll probably drive people nuts. But something like this, obviously from the air, is a great visual. But when you're on the court, you're also running around on a different perspective. Something like this is just, user friendly. Still like the center section with the logo.
Yeah.
That's what we have
So-
if anybody has any questions on anything in particular.
Is that your presentation? So you're ready for questions? or-
Yeah, ready for questions if anybody has any.
Okay, we'll start with.
No questions, but thank you both so much for your presentation, for all of these different concepts that you came up with. Yeah,
Sure.
great.
Okay.
I would like to second that notion. I appreciate the time and energy that you put into multiple options, different color styles, creating different logos. I know that probably took a lot of time, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Very much appreciated.
Commissioner Tefenki?
Thank you so much for both of you for being here and your presentation. Yes, quick question. I really like the motivational, inspirational values or words that you put in John Wooden's words in this particular one. I do feel might be a little busy. Can some of those words be incorporated in possibly the last design?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you could. I mean, if all of these designs are definitely combinable too.
Maybe in the negative space on the perimeter, or
You can do smaller groupings of letters. Yeah, really, any of that is possible. We wanted to create like a basic idea, and if you guys like combinations of 1 and 2, we can definitely create something as well.
Yeah, that's why we provided you one where it was like a hand lettering treatment, and then the other one where it was a typography treatment. But all these concepts are made so that if you like parts of one and you wanted to mix it in with the other, we can incorporate that. So
Yeah.
and maybe it's not even all the lettering. Maybe it's just 1 or 2 words.
exactly,
whatever.
yeah. I know that was a lot, but we didn't want to cut out certain things. So, but
Yeah. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Pagosian?
I don't have any questions, but thank you for your presentation. It's very creative.
thank you.
Commissioner Alexandrian?
I don't have any questions, but I also like the idea of like combining the words to like the purple areas of
Sure.
this specific design.
Definitely possible.
Thank you very much. You really put a tremendous amount of effort into thinking of different approaches, and I agree with my colleague, Commissioner Tefenkian, and also your comment. What I love about this design, the colorful one, is what brings, people are playing a sport, and that's what they have in common here, their love of a sport, and this really celebrates the sport. It's a
Yes.
basketball. And the words of John Wooden kind of worked in there. And yeah, I agree with Commissioner Alexandrian that the purple place might be a very good place to put it. To me, that is just a really lovely and appropriate way to celebrate a sport. And we're going to, host the Olympics in 2028.
Yeah.
And Glendale is a community that loves sport of all kinds. There are, there's a sports complex, a lot of teams, a lot of athleticism going on here, and for me, this really speaks to that. And then the inspirational words of an important person would really be the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
So
Seems
thank
like
you very much for the efforts you put in here.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it for me.
Anybody else? We're good.
All right, thanks, Tanner. Thanks,
Thank you very
Andy.
much. Thanks for hearing
Have
us.
a great day.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
So now we're on to discussion and comments by each commissioner, and then we take a vote. So we'll start with Commissioner Yank.
Yeah, I thought all of the designs were really thoughtful, and really appreciate everything that each of the artists brought to the table. I think the 38 Collective design really felt like it would be a very exciting design on a basketball court. That's a court that I would want to play on as a former basketball player. And yeah, I think I love how it like mimics the paint, and the movement of players. So that's the one that speaks to me. I do really, maybe as like an alternative, I like the comments that fellow commissioners had about Tanner Goldbeck's last design and the potential of like that design with some of the words added, I think would be a nice alternative. But for me, the 38 Collective design wins out.
Okay, Commissioner Zadorian.
Is it 38 or is it 3B? I thought it was 3B.
Oh,
Is
sorry.
it? Okay, no, I can't, I don't want to say it incorrectly. Okay, so I just think that, because I didn't give my comments for Tori Shaw, I think she deserves to know why if we don't move forward with her. I would like her to know that for me, it was a stunning mural. It's just, for me, didn't speak to the basketball court and the environment it's in. I think the ones she did for the hiking stairs and the pottery were incredible, but for this space, this just doesn't work. So I just want to know that that was my comment, and that the lines do get lost in the design as well. They kind of disappear. I also agree that the 3B Collectives is stunning. For me, Unity Through Play is an incredible concept. He really was thinking of the community and their needs. I love that he used, activating the space, weaving cultures. I can really see the colors of the different diverse communities that we have, and really woven together. I also just think kids will love to play horse on this kind of, court. Like, what a great concept, like Meet Me in the Red, or like Shoot from the Red, or whatever it might be. It seems very creative for the space. I don't agree about muting the colors, so I'm going to disagree with my fellow commissioner on that one. I think that the colors are what made it so beautiful, the vibrancy, and that's what spoke to me personally. I think if we have an issue with the white lines getting lost in the white, maybe they get a black outlining or something like that, so to make it more functional. I love that he's local. He's worked with a lot of local communities, and I just love that it's a full circle moment for him and his father, and who worked, on facilities at Glendale College, and he's had a connection to Glendale, so that always speaks to me as well. For Tanner Goldbeck, I actually enjoyed the palm trees one the most. Of course, if everybody loves the basketball design, I'm okay with that, and including the John Wooden quotes, but the palm tree would be my favorite, personally. The colors, they all look stunning in my opinion, all the different colors, different versions of them. I wouldn't even be able to choose which one, so I'd want to hear more from you guys. But for me, 3B Collective is my number one priority, or option, sorry. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Tufenkian.
I would have to agree with Commissioner Zadorian about Tori Shao, and I think her murals were beautiful, and definitely worked beautifully in its setting, but would, in my opinion, get lost on a basketball court. In regards to 3B Collective and Tanner Goldbeck, I like both of their works. I think they're both very strong. I kind of feel like Tanner has, maybe 3B Collectives might be a little bit more of a, for lack of better words, sophisticated look, but I feel like Tanner Goldbeck's work would definitely speak to the youth much more. I like the basketball, and I like the palm trees, and I do feel incorporating some of John Wooden's inspirational words would be something that would be very positive for the youth. So I feel like Tanner's work would work better for the youth. So I would vote for Tanner.
Thank you. Commissioner Pagosian.
I also agree with my two commissioners that just gave their statements. I also go with Tanner's artwork, the one with the palm trees, but I also like the 3B Collective's artwork too. But I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Alexandrian.
I think that the Tanner Goldbeck one is more for the youth, but I also really like the bold colors on the 3B Collective one, so I feel like that would be the better option for this specific park.
Okay. Yeah, I feel the same way. I hope Tori Shao comes back to us at some point. Work is beautiful. And maybe, it'd be nice to see a stairway painted by her at some point, or a crosswalk. She's very talented, and that's a beautiful design. But right, I feel that either 3B Collective or Tanner Goldbeck would be fine, maybe with some modifications that have already been discussed. My preference is for Tanner Goldbeck, the basketball, because of its universality. As everybody comes to the court to play because they love playing the game, and the different whimsical, rather playful colors really speak to me, and I love the idea. It really elevates it if the words of John Wooden are organized within that. I think there is something in the center, but I'm not sure if that's words or a design, or if it says Palmer Park. Does it say Palmer Park? I can't see. Okay, great. And I loved that idea about identifying Palmer Park that way. And I love the playfulness of it and the representational aspect of a basketball. So that's my favorite, and 3B Collective is very, very nice for all the reasons mentioned by everybody else. So there you go. Thank you.
We do have to make a decision. It seems like we're split in our decision. So if you want to go around one more time, or if someone wants to make a motion for a first recommendation and an alternate.
Well, does anybody want to add anything or create more?
Yeah, I did actually look at some pictures of Palmer Park as we were before the meeting started, just to remind myself of what the surrounding environs look like. And part of why I think I'm drawn to 3B Collective is I just feel like it matches the rest of the design, the way the actual site of the park is better. There's a skate park there. There's a playground. The Tanner Goldbeck, the colors, at least on the basketball one, just to me feel like they'd be a bit out of place at the park. But that's, it's personal opinion about that.
Okay, anyone else? Commissioner Zadorian?
I agree with Commissioner Yank on every comment that she made. I believe that 3B Collectives will look better in the space. It's, for lack of a better term, a little more sophisticated looking. I think it'll work better. And personally, we're an arts and culture commission. I'm not only going to be focused on what just the youth are going to enjoy, but all ages. I think that the 3B Collective is visually appealing for all, and that in 20, 30 years when we look back, it's going to be something stunning to look at and say, wow, Glendale really is an arts destination, versus something where, it's a basketball. I get it's a lot more simple and straightforward, but as an arts commission, I think we should focus on bringing really sophisticated pieces of work to our city.
Commissioner Tufenkian.
I do agree about bringing more sophisticated work to the city. However, I do feel like Park is somewhere where youth, and it's a little more playful, so I'm not quite sold on that would be the right place for that sophisticated look, so I'm not necessarily sold on that, so.
Commissioner Bogosian, anything else?
No, I don't have any questions or comments.
Commissioner Alexandrian? Nope, nothing to add. Yeah, I see both sides of it, and your statements, Commissioner Yank and Commissioner Zadorian, are well taken. I guess I feel that both designs in their own way are sophisticated, but thematically, I see some art in the basketball one, an artful depiction of a basketball with inspirational words woven in, speaks to a universal appeal to a sport that's going to be played on that court. And so that's my preference, but the other one is beautiful and important for all the reasons mentioned. It's just a matter of personal preference, I think. So I don't necessarily believe that any design that we would choose would, this is a basketball court, and a basketball court could be anywhere. So I feel that the integration of the court into the park is probably very acceptable for the basketball as well as for 3B Collective's work too. So, either one would be fine. So let's maybe move on and see if we can get a motion and see how it goes.
If you
Or
don't mind,
not.
I'll just make one comment from sort of our
Please.
perspective. And I'm like, we obviously, our job and goal is to bring as qualified artists and concepts forward as possible. We do not, again, we don't represent any of these artists. We don't have any skin in this game. As someone who's now too old to play basketball, but spent a lot of time on these kinds of courts, I really like 3B Collective's concept. I think it's a very sort of higher brow concept. Personally, and Sue, I know you talk about being a basketball player. I personally feel like it could potentially be a little bit busy. I just know, there's some modifications that, Oscar mentioned being able to make. I would try to match some of those design lines up with some of the court lines and maybe remove some of there are a lot of different gradients. I think honestly, it looks great in a rendering, but I think on the ground playing might get a little visual overload. I think personally, I really like the palm trees. I think somebody mentioned, one of the commissioners mentioned the palm trees. The palm trees was a really cool design. I think you could still do sort of some John Wooden quotes around the outside, and I like Tanner's application of the Palmer Park sort of logo in the middle. But I think personally, either one would probably, whichever design was selected, I would suggest some minor modifications. And again, as Catherine mentioned, we don't have to pick one of these designs as finalists. I think there's some concept development that probably needs to happen with either of these. But I would just sort of weigh in. I think we're probably in good shape with either one.
Mm-hmm.
Make a comment.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to agree that if we were to move forward with Tanner Goldbeck, I think my issue is the basketball. To me, the palm trees is much nicer. It flows with the city of Glendale. It won't interfere with the lines. If we were to go forward with that, I would have no problem putting that forward. I think something about the basketball is just, to me, it's a little childish looking. And I get we're trying to gear towards the youth, but to me, it's just very, it looks 80s, outdated. I don't know if it's the colors or just the design, but to me, and it's very literal. I appreciate the palm tree design a lot. I think it's stunning. So if we wanted to move forward, I did want to ask, I know it has to go to city council and we're making a recommendation. Can we send 3 options and in an order? So it would be the 2 of the Tanner Goldbeck and 1 of the 3B Collective. Is that a possibility? And they can make that decision for themselves.
To your point, yes, we can include all 3 recommendations, and ultimately it is city council's decision. So we can put the palm trees, the basketball, and if you do want to include 3B collectives, this also does have to go to the Parks Commission for their review and consideration as well. So just want to give you that heads up that those are the next steps.
I appreciate more eyes on it, and then, of course, making a note that we want to include the John Wooden quote within it in some way, and maybe notifying them of that, if everybody else agrees with that.
Anybody else?
I'll just mention because that I would prefer to put forward as well the palm trees than the basketball. I agree that it just feels a little on the nose for me. And so going with a design that's, more evocative, I think would be more interesting. So I would be fine with putting forward the palm trees and then with also the 3B collective as an option.
Not the basketball.
I just don't, I
It
can't
doesn't
get
do
behind
it for you.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Anybody else have second comments? Okay. Yeah, I think, we have 4 people here, and we're split up, and it would be worth it to, I guess, put council in a position where they maybe understand, we're kind of putting them in our shoes a little bit here, which I think is great. I think when they heard directly from the artist who was doing the benches on Montrose, it was really a great, a little deeper understanding of what goes into putting art on the street. So that sounds fine to me. I don't know for what reason the palm trees aren't resonating for me, but obviously we all have different feelings about this, so we're not going to get anywhere. Is there a possibility of doing some kind of public outreach or getting, people who play basketball or, certain sectors of the community, like particularly from South Glendale, which is the people who are going to be playing on this court? Is there any way we could do that without creating a gigantic amount of work? Certainly the Adams Hill Neighborhood Association, I shouldn't speak for them, but they're involved in things like this, and I'm sure they would want to help do something if we need to do something.
I think what we could do is potentially, once a design is chosen, we could get community feedback similar to Oscar's proposal of if he's the chosen artist, he would have a community meeting or a town hall meeting to
Right,
look at that
okay.
specific. But I think it's a little preemptive to do that at this point because we haven't made a decision or city council hasn't decided. So, I mean, Bo, do you have thoughts?
Okay.
I mean, I think our goal still, right, this is the unenviable task you have as a commission is to select, we usually select a primary recommendation and then an alternate is what we usually take to city council.
Right, so it has to be
Versus saying
one.
like city council make a decision like this is that typically what the goal is, right, Jennifer?
A first and an alternate.
So what we have to do here then is decide which primary one and secondary one we want to send to city council. We can't send them 3, we shouldn't do that, we should give them the options. So can we have one more round to recommend primary and secondary, since we now have 3 in the mix?
I mean, I would defer to Commissioner Tufankian because I think Commissioner Zadorian and Vice Chair Yank were not huge fans of the basketball, so would love to hear your thoughts on that.
I think the palm trees are equally beautiful, and they are very representative of California. I mean, when you think of California, you think of the palm trees, and so I feel like that is a beautiful design as well. And I think if we could, incorporate some of John Wooden's words in there, that would be beautiful. And I think that's, that would be nice.
Okay.
I think we can't go wrong. Either way, they're going to be great designs, so.
Yeah. Anyone else before I finish this? Okay. Yeah, I could see the palm trees as an option, and the 3B then would be
The alternate.
right.
Alternate.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, then I'll make a motion
Go ahead.
that we use the palm trees as the, what's the term I'm looking for the first?
Primary.
For the
Primary.
primary, and we'll use the 3B collective as the alternate.
Alternate.
And these are going to city council as a recommendation.
Okay. Second.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Vice Chair Yank,
Yes.
Commissioner Tefankian,
Yes.
Commissioner Zadorian,
Yes.
and Chairperson Vidor.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you, Bo and Catherine, as well, all of your work.
Agenda item 6B, Glendale International Film Festival sponsorship opportunity. Motion approving 1, the funding of a proposal by Glendale Arts to provide arts programming associated with the Glendale International Film Festival from September 26th to October 1st, 2024. And 2, the sponsorship of the Glendale International Film Festival in an amount not to exceed $10,000 from the 2024 to 2025 work plan.
Commissioners, we do have Nina Crow here, the Executive Director of Glendale Arts, to talk about this sponsorship opportunity. So I'm going to hand it over to Nina.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chair Vidor. Thank you, Commissioners, and it's lovely to see you here again. And thank you for allowing me to come speak about the Glendale International Film Festival, which is in its 10th year this year. Very excited and very happy that Glendale Arts is able to present it again. Are you doing the slides? Yes. Okay, great. Next slide. Thank you. So just wanted to share basic information. At the very top level, high level, it's a 6-day event. It's an opportunity from filmmakers from around the world to showcase their films, to celebrate their films, for the film goers and the community members to come and celebrate the beauty and the points of view that they've set forth. At a very deeper level, it's an opportunity for community engagement. It's an opportunity to have discussion and dialogue, to have inclusivity, diversity of points of view, of opinion, and conversation that leads from our opening night to our closing event. So I'll go over some of the very high level kind of sharing of information, and we can go into a deeper level with some questions if you'd like to after that. Next slide, please. So we have a series of 6 days events. We have our opening night, and days 2 and 4 are film screenings. Some exciting things to recognize is on Friday, our first day of screenings, is we're focusing on our student films. We received so many student films this year of incredible, talented students from across the globe. Actually, there's close to 40 student films this year, from animation to short, feature-length documentaries. They're doing it all, from high school to college. It's quite extraordinary on Friday afternoon to come see those. On Saturday, we have some screenings, again, at the Laemmle Theater. We start at 1 o'clock, we go until midnight, and day 2 also includes panel discussions. One of the panel discussions you'll love, because we just had an experience of democracy at work in your dialogue and conversation. One of our panel discussions is a very important topic of how documentaries must be shared and must be heard, because they are the voice of democracy. So how do we understand social justice? What's the responsibility of filmmakers? How many stories can we tell? And us as film goers to also have a better understanding of the human experience. So that's a very exciting panel discussion that we're having at our ACE 121 gallery, which is around the corner from the Laemmle Theater, which is where all of our 90 films will be screened this year. So the gallery is a backdrop for panel discussions. It's a backdrop for our lounge and networking events. And we also will have an exhibition which ties into the film festival. It's called Behind the Lens. And what we did is we put out a call for artists to location professionals. So we had submissions from location scouts, location managers, and we will have an exhibit that focuses on the city of Los Angeles through their camera lens. So some places we've been to, some places we haven't, but it's an extraordinary opportunity to meet at the gallery in another, another angle of the filmmaker's perspective. And then our awards night, where we present 18 awards from, the best feature, best short, horror, comedy, and of course, one of the awards we present is the Velvet Award, and that is to a female filmmaker who is extraordinary in her writing, directing, and filmmaking efforts. And the award is named for our the festival's filmmaking founder, Velvet Roads. Next slide, please. Our closing night is a screening of the Academy Award film, The Last Repair Shop. It won Best Short Documentary this year. It's an amazing story about how Los Angeles is one of the few places that offers free repair to instruments when the students who are using them in their school systems. So for instance, it follows these 4 tremendous repairmen who are extraordinary musicians and also volunteer their time and talents to repair the instruments. We also get a look into these beautiful, warm, cute as a button kids and students who are recipients of the instruments. And so the film is really a lot about the importance of music education, but it also speaks to how music makes good people, and it makes better people, and how arts contribute to us as a society. So The Last Repair Shop will be screened on our closing night. Throughout the day, we will have free film screenings for students. We're working with GUSD and GCC to have kids and students from those campuses come to our screenings. We're also opening it up to students who live in Glendale but may not attend those schools because some of them are homeschooled or don't attend to traditional schools. So we want to have this opportunity as many students as possible to free screenings in the day. And then in the evening, we have a moderated discussion from the KUSC morning host, Jennifer Hamill, and she'll meet with Chris Bowers and 2 of the filmmakers to discuss this very important and highly regarded documentary. So that is our little 6-day event. And the opportunity that was presented to you is to support the film festival at the executive director level. What that means is you're recognized as a contributor to arts and culture in Glendale through the film festival. You're announced at every Q&A, which across the 3 days at the Laemmle Theater, we do have moderated discussions after each of the film screenings when the filmmakers are there. So you would be announced at that. You would have an opportunity to, if you would like to, have your name associated with one of our key initiatives, which are, for instance, Friday is our student day, Saturday is our panel discussion, and Tuesday night is our closing night. Those are some of our key initiatives which could be presented by Glendale's Arts and Culture Commission if you would like to do that. And other opportunities, one that's not on there is we do have our sponsor and our day pass holder and filmmaker lanyards, and so that would be an opportunity to have the commission's logo on there. So a real great way to blend the art of cinema, performing arts, visual arts. We have some musicals and some films that show dancing and movement. So it really encapsulates all of the arts that go into the words arts and culture. And I'm happy to answer any questions. The last screen, please. I know I went really fast. It was a lot to cover, but I also want to be mindful of our time limit here today. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Yank.
Thank you very much for this presentation. Sounds like a really exciting program. I'm interested, but I'm happy to hear from fellow commissioners of just being like the presenter of the student night. I think that might be kind of a cool place to present that, but I'm in favor of supporting the festival.
Commissioner Zadorian.
Oh, I think that's a great recommendation. I just want to know, how much have we typically sponsored in the past?
For the past 2 years, the Arts and Culture Commission has supported at a $5,000 level.
Okay. And how much have we typically supported? I know we did another film festival this year. Do you know how much we supported that with?
It was for 10,000.
Okay, so this all makes sense. Okay, I'm definitely on board, and I really like Commissioner Yang's recommendation if that's something you guys are willing to do.
Commissioner Tufenkian.
I would have to echo my fellow commissioners. I think it's a great project, and I would definitely be in support of supporting it. Quick question, any other big sponsors or supporters at that level or at 5,000 level What's the budget and what do you have so far?
Yeah, no, we have several at the $5,000 level, from a family foundation, the Espinoza Families, to Glendale Adventist Hospital. And so there's Forest Lawn. There's also individuals coming in at the $5,000 level in addition to businesses and corporations. The budget for the event is close to $100,000. With most of our expenses that go to providing opportunities for people at our opening, at our closing at the Laemmle Theater. So it's a very, very people-friendly budget to ensure everyone has a good experience.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Commissioner Bogosian.
Thank you for being here. It was a nice presentation. I like the idea how you added students this year and for them to showcase their films. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No questions. I just think it's a really good community building and engaging idea.
Yeah, I agree that the student night is the best and most appropriate for us to sponsor. And the festival's been going on now for, what did you say, 10 years?
This is the
10
10th
years, and it's
year.
getting bigger and more successful with every run. So I'm certainly in favor of sponsoring at $10,000. And that's all I have to say. So do we want to,
I move to approve the funding of a proposal by Glendale Arts to provide arts programming associated with the Glendale International Film Festival for $10,000, not to exceed $10,000.
do we add the student aspect to that motion, or no, not necessary?
Included in the motion.
Okay.
Second
Caroline. Roll call?
Vice Chair Yank,
Yes.
Commissioner Tufankian,
Yes.
Commissioner Zadorian,
Yes.
and Chairperson Vidor.
Yes.
Thank you very much, and it wasn't in the motion, but I have the student perspective, and I'll be coordinating with you. Thank you all so
Thank you.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Next item.
Agenda item 6C, ARTSOC Creative Program Commissioner Appointment. Motion appointing one commissioner to the ARTSOC Creative Program Selection Committee.
Commissioners, we've been working with the Community Development Department since 2020 on the ArtsOc Creative Program. We are seeking a new commissioner appointment specifically for the selection committee. Previously in 2021, Commissioner Vyar was appointed to the committee, and now we're looking for a new commissioner appointment. Specifically for this year, Community Development is doing in-person interviews. So the appointee would need to be present for the following dates and times: Thursday, September 26th from 1 to 4, Tuesday, October 1st from 1 to 4, and Thursday, October 3rd from 1 to 4. Just making clear that the commissioner would need to be available for in-person interviews.
Okay. Does anyone want to nominate themselves? I think it sounds like a wonderful, fun opportunity. I'm out of town all those dates, so it's not going to be me. If we don't have somebody, think of how exciting it is to pick.
You said September 26th, October 3rd, and what was the second one? I apologize.
October 1st from 1 to 4 and October 3rd from 1 to 4.
Oh, so Tuesday and a Thursday?
Okay.
I don't
And what
think
is
I'll
the
be able
time?
to.
What is the time frame for that?
All 3 days is 1 to 4.
1 to 4. Those 3 hours in those days.
Not either, but is it possible that we could break it up to make it work? Because I can't do all 3 dates.
Unfortunately, Community Development wants the same person so that the scores are consistent.
And you can't do it either.
So,
Is there any way we
Can't
could
do
go
all
back
those
and
days.
get them to change the dates of the thing? So
The
at least-
interviews have been set
Oh,
for candidates. So
okay.
the other option that we do have as an alternative option is to appoint a staff member to that committee, whether it be me or Ms. Lopez, to be on that committee to represent the commission and their interests, if the commissioners are not available.
Well, can I ask you what they're going to be discussing, since I know that something about it had been shut down for a while for ArtsOc's creative programs. So what exactly will be the interviews before?
The interviews are for tenants, potential tenants for those units on
For
ArtsOc.
the window shops. Okay. Thank you.
How many spaces are being considered, do you know?
I think there are 3 units that are being
3.
considered, which is why there's so many interviews.
Okay, so 1 per session. Okay.
Well, whichever one of you has the capability and the time. I know you have a lot on your plates, but whoever wants to volunteer from our staff, please.
Yeah, I feel perfectly fine, as I'm sure my fellow commissioners do, with having you do it, but that is a tremendous carve-out for somebody's day, so,
Are student commissioners able to? since
student
it's a recommendation?
commissioners or our intern or yourself, I know you don't need to be spending 9 hours out of the office doing something else, although I'm sure your opinion would be excellent, but
I think if Ms. Lopez is open to it, I would recommend her because she's been doing our storefront art program as well. So it would have it'd be a good opportunity in professional development as well. I highly recommend. She's got a great head on her shoulders and great opinions for what could be in those units. So I would recommend her.
We trust her.
yes. All right, motion. Do we need a motion or no?
I motion to appoint Ms. Lopez as a representative from the commission to the Arts Off Creative Program Selection Committee.
Second.
Roll call, Vice Chair Yang,
Yes.
Commissioner Tefankian,
Yes.
Commissioner Zadorian,
Yes.
and Chairperson Vidor.
Yes.
Agenda item 7, discussion items, 2023 to 2024 work plan progress updates.
Commissioners, we just have a few updates specifically regarding our mural ordinance. We are going steadily. We are on a final draft, pretty much final draft of our mural ordinance. We are working with Sarah Odenkirk to finally review our final draft and hopefully come to you with a draft sometime soon, definitely by the spring of 2025. Make sure all of our ducks are in a row and host our community meetings so that we can get feedback on the ordinance. And then hopefully shortly after that, be able to go to City Council for an adoption of the ordinance. Specifically regarding the Montrose Circular Benches, on August 13th, we did go to City Council, and Keisha Rico's Our Garden Spot was chosen as that specific proposal for that public artwork project. We want to really thank the Montrose Shopping Park Association. We had 2 members attend that meeting to make public comment in support of that artwork, so we're very excited to begin working with Ms. Rico. The Jewel City Concert Series is coming up. I believe on September 25th is our first concert on the Otsac Paseo at 5 o'clock. We're going to kick it off with Logan Hone Band, and then every Saturday after that throughout October, we'll be having a concert on Paseo. And as we mentioned before, the big thing coming up this week is our Getty Pacific Standard Time PST art exhibit, Blended Worlds, with JPL, which we've been working on for over 2 years. It's hard to believe, but we're here. We're very excited about it. We hope that all the commissioners, in addition to everyone who can attend on September 21st at 7 o'clock, it'll be a wonderful night. So those are the updates for us.
Okay, anyone? Comments? Okay.
Exciting things happening.
Yeah, I have a question about the mural ordinance. So I was under the impression that it was completed and it's in legal. So does it still have to go through legal review?
We're working with the city attorney's office to review the final draft, and then Ms. Odenkirk is also going to take her final eyes on it and review it for all intents and purposes as we work with different municipalities, because she's very familiar with the ordinances that she's worked with in the city of Los Angeles and Santa Monica. So wanting to make sure we have a consultant's final eye on it who's an expert in ordinances.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Agenda item 7B, 2023 to 2024 student ex officio commissioners acknowledgement.
Well, I would like to honor and express my gratitude to both Gemma Pagosian and Edith Alexandrian with the presentation of certificates of appreciation to both of them for the service they have done for the last year for the commission. It has really been a pleasure to have you on board, and we all, I'm sure, certainly hope that you got something out of it, that you enjoyed it, and anything you would want to say. I'm going to let my fellow commissioners here speak first, and then if you have any comments you want to make, we'd love to hear from you. And then after the meeting is adjourned, we're going to take our picture together for posterity, because you were the first and you set a tone, and we really appreciate you being here and taking the time out of your schedules to do this.
Thank you.
So, anyone else? Commissioner Yang, do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, I just want to thank you both so much for, dedicating your time to this position. It's been really wonderful, I think, for me to have your opinions and your weigh-in, and just sort of help guide us from your perspective what you see as the future of this city. So I really appreciate you being here. I know it's not easy to, carve out that time in the week to come and spend at a commission meeting, but it gives me a lot of hope and joy for the future that you're both here. So thank you so much for your service.
Thank you. Commissioner Zadorian.
Okay, so for different reasons, so I know Gemma very well, and I'm just very proud to see, both of you, just from beginning to the end of the year, how much you've changed. Kind of like, very shy and timid, and then now you guys are really speaking up and more comfortable giving your opinion, so it's always very nice to see that change. I know, yes, as a student, it's very hard to be able to make time to do things like this. And, I was not doing these kinds of things at your age, so it's kind of incredible, especially as a high school student. I'm like shocked by how you carry yourself and that you prioritize something like this. I definitely was not doing that in high school. So it's very nice to see our youth and where it's going, and I can't wait to see what you guys do as well. It's very exciting when you meet somebody at their earlier formative stage in life and then you see them years later and what they've accomplished. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I hope you stay involved and you continue to come back, and then eventually you just become a regular commissioner when you're not students. So that'll be very exciting, and we'll be voting together, or maybe you'll be on city council someday, or even better than that, move further along. So I wish you guys the best, onward and upward.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Commissioner Tufenkian.
Wow, yes. So nice to have had you on the board for this past year. Thank you for your input. Thank you for being here. As my fellow commissioners said, it is not easy to carve out that time, and I realize that you guys are students and have the homework and all that stuff, and to put the time in and do this, it's very much appreciated. And I think it goes both ways. I feel like, it's such a great opportunity for the youth as well, and I hope that we do continue doing this in the future. So it's a great opportunity for them, and I think it was so nice to have you both and to see the progression and to see how far along you've come and to have a youthful opinion on all our issues. So thank you both, and I wish you both great luck.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and would either one of you or both of you like to comment?
Sure. It has been an honor and privilege to serve as a student commissioner for the Arts and Culture Commission. This past year has been a journey filled with creativity, collaboration, and deepened appreciation for the arts within our vibrant community, one that I am humbled to call home. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to my fellow commissioners, the dedicated staff of the Arts and Culture Department, the City Council, and the Mayor of this wonderful city for allowing youth like myself to serve in capacities that motivate and inspire the next generation of leaders. As my term comes to an end, one of the things I'm most proud of during my time here is how we have helped open doors for our youth by providing opportunities for young people to gain experience through programs that we've launched, like the Utility Box Mural Art Program. Watching them engage, create, and contribute has been one of the greatest joys of this role. Together, we have organized numerous events, workshops, and exhibitions that have not only showcased the incredible talent within our community, but also fostered a sense of unity and cultural appreciation. From the inspiring art installations at our public art spaces to the engaging workshops that empower young artists, each initiative has been a testament to the power of art that brings people together and inspires change. It has been an honor to serve, to learn, and to give back to this wonderful city. As I am stepping down from this position, I will always be a supporter of the arts and the community's culture. Thank you all for your trust, your collaboration, and the memories we've made together. I look forward to seeing how Glendale will continue to grow artistically and reach its goal of being an arts destination. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd have to echo all of that. I feel like this position was just a very good experience, and especially for students to come, it opens up a lot of doors for you, and it brings you it lets you be more active in the community and understand all the work and effort that goes into, especially like the arts of Glendale. And it just like truly like walking down, before I didn't realize how much effort it took, but like seeing all the little details and steps, it's just a really good thing to be a part of. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we certainly hope you stay engaged in arts and culture, which I'm sure you will. Jennifer, do you have anything you want to add or any follow-ups?
No, I mean, I think everyone echoed it very beautifully, and it was just such a pleasure to work with both of you. It's really such a fantastic opportunity, and it's really wonderful that you both took advantage of it. And to echo Commissioner Zadorian's words, we're very excited to see where you go next, and I know you have great journeys ahead. So keep connected, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think our next item is the last, so next item.
Yeah, agenda item 8, commission and staff comments.
Commissioner Yank.
I just want to, again, thank our student commissioners, and I want to acknowledge the work of Jennifer Fukutomi-Jones and her staff on the enormously ambitious JPL brand PST collaborative exhibition. This is, and I just want to emphasize what a huge deal this is for Glendale. I mean, this is a huge region-wide initiative that's known nationally. You know, our LA region is known for having, you know, this incredible like collaborative regional set of exhibitions. It doesn't happen anywhere else. And to have Glendale be such a prominent part of it with an exhibition that I think is getting a lot of press attention and is featuring some of the most cutting edge contemporary artists working today. I just can't say enough about how exciting that is for our city. So I just want to acknowledge the staff at Arts and Culture and just, you know, understanding how incredible that work has been going into this exhibition. I highly encourage everybody to go see it, you know, and to show up because it's a really exciting, I think, landmark and benchmark for our city.
Commissioner Zadorian.
I have no additional comments, but of course, you know, I agree and echo those comments. It's very ambitious and we're very excited. It's unfortunate I won't be able to make it that day for the opening ceremony, but I'm very much looking forward to seeing it. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Tufenkian.
I echo everything, and and Commissioner Vice Chair Yang said, and I feel like it is a very, very ambitious and important inclusion in the whole LA art scene. So thank you for all the work that you've done, and thank you for the student commissioners, and thank you for opening up that opportunity for students. I think it's a great thing too, and that's it. Thank you for all the work that you do.
Commissioner Pagosi.
I just want to comment and say thanks that I met all of you guys. I'm working with you guys for the past year. It was a great opportunity to get to know you guys and to work with you guys on this position. Thank you everyone. Thank you.
I agree with Gemma. It was an amazing opportunity.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to echo, you actually stole my little speech, and now it was so beautiful and heartfelt that I don't have to elaborate too much, but I know how much work you do, baseline, and to work on this just monumental project that is Pacific Standard Time, Blended Worlds for brand and bring the world to Glendale. I mean, it's just awe-inspiring and so exciting, and probably one of the most significant things that's happened to make us realize our goal or move us toward our goal of being an arts destination. So hopefully after the wonderful reception, which I hope we'll all publicize through our own social media and network channels, you'll be able to at least take a breath. Probably not, but really, really appreciated. So thank you and the staff all very much for what you've been doing for a long time now.
Well, thank you so much. And truly, it is a group effort in every sense of that word. Of course, it's the vision of the commission, right? That sets the tone for agreeing to bring PST to Glendale, which is a huge undertaking. But literally, the Brand Library staff is phenomenal, and they're on site right now with JPL installing the artworks, and they've been doing a wonderful job. To the city attorney's office, who we've been in many conversations with artist contracts, to the Parks Landscaping Department, who's making the venue beautiful, and the Public Works Department, who's making sure that all the bells and whistles are ready to go for the exhibit. So it truly is a citywide effort, which we're really proud of. And we really invite everyone to come on Saturday at 7 o'clock to the opening reception.
Yes, and I passed by Brand the other day, and they were hard at work, spiffing the place up and making it as beautiful and new looking as it looked in 1903. So it's really going to be wonderful. So thank you all, and the Brand staff and everybody who's been involved. Really an extraordinary effort. Okay, so I guess we're adjourning the meeting. Motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second?